Hello, beautiful souls. This is the out of town edition of Soulful Sessions with Rory. Welcome to Soulful Sessions with Rory, the podcast where we dive deep into the matters of the heart, mind, and spirit. I'm your host, Rory, and I'm thrilled to embark on this soulful journey with each and every one of you. Soulful Sessions is your safe space for introspection, inspiration, and maybe even a little revelation. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee, winding down after a long day, or just seeking a moment of connection, you're in the right place. Before we dive into today's soulful exploration, I want to remind you that Soulful Sessions with Rory is designed for entertainment purposes only. While we may touch on profound topics and meaningful discussions, it's important to approach our conversations with an open heart and a sense of curiosity. Life is a journey, and so is this podcast. We'll navigate the realms of self-discovery, spirituality, and personal growth. But remember, the insights we share here are not a substitute for professional advice or guidance. Always consult with an appropriate professionals regarding your unique circumstances. So, whether you're a seasoned seeker or just dipping your toes into the waters of self-discovery, of self-exploration, get ready for a blend of wisdom, laughter, and a touch of magic in each episode of Soulful Sessions with Rory. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss a soulful moment. Follow me on social media, on IG, Soulful Explorer, and don't forget the FULL. On Facebook at The Listening Veteran Life Coach, and Snapchat, Rory Soulful Explorer. To stay connected, share your thoughts, and be a part of this incredible community. Now let the journey begin. Sit back, relax, and let's fill our souls together. Today's soulful episode is Loving People Who Haven't Learned to Love Themselves. Oh, let me tell you. You know, I was having a meal with a couple of friends, and it first began wanting to talk about parental relationships, whereas we discuss, our relationships with our own mothers. Now, I can't speak on any culture but the culture that I'm familiar with, which is Black culture, and my Black culture, and the dynamics of that mother-child relationship varies across my culture, but there always seems to be other things that happen. And so, with that being said, I realized that it is an approach that we can do as a community to kind of learn a little bit more. So, why is it that we tend to love people that don't appear to love themselves? First of all, we don't even know that they don't love themselves. That's first and foremost. What we believe is that these people are they're the most loving, caring people in our life because they gave birth to us, they showed us. But I'm not just speaking about parents or mothers. And I want to make that clear. When I talk about loving people who haven't learned to love themselves, I'm talking about romantic relationships, friendships, relationships with family members. Now, how do you know if somebody don't love themselves? Here's the truth. You really don't know. You don't know. You can make assumptions based off your own history or something that you're familiar with, but you don't know when somebody don't love themselves. Now, the question I like to ask people is, well, if you love you, tell me, what have you done for you that shows that you love yourself? One of the first things I hear is, oh, I bought me a new car. That was a necessity. Did you buy the car and then show your friends and say, hey, look what I did for myself? We're looking for them to validate how we feel. Ooh, look what I did. Look at this thing. And so is that really self-love, or is that still looking for validation? Now, excuse me, if you bought that car or you just sat and just revel like, man, I'm so proud of myself. I'm glad I could do this and I deserve this. See, that's more along the lines of self-love. So, someone else that's dealing with you, they will project their fear onto you. This person that you love will say, oh, you shouldn't have bought that car. That's an expensive vehicle, or, this is not a good time for you. Why would you do that? Now, not saying that they're correct or incorrect, it doesn't matter. But, you might have been looking for that validation, and what they're thinking about really is themselves and how they would treat that situation. because they don't know where you are financially. They don't know what your story is. Because let's be real, we don't always share the whole story with people. We give them the version of the story that we want them to have. So you take that time and you think about it, and you still say, oh, you give them a pass, right? Now, loving people who haven't learned to love themselves, another thing that they do is sort of a self-loathing. They talk about everything in their lives. I mean, they're disgusted by their own existence. How do you know? Because again, that's something else they project on you. You ever had somebody talk to you about your weight and you've never mentioned to them that you had a problem with your weight? Or you ever had somebody talk to you about your job and you never mentioned you had a problem with your job or your relationship? Oh, I don't know about that person. They're going to do this. Oh, I don't know about that job, man. I don't know if I could work there. Or, man, I don't know, man. I think you should really look at trying to use, what's that vinegar, that apple cider vinegar, use some apple cider vinegar, if you want to lose weight. But you've never said anything to these people that love you. Now, in their minds, they really are helping you, but they're really helping themselves because they're telling you what they want to hear to themselves. And you may get caught up in this judgment thing that they're doing, because that can come off as judgment. When someone is telling you how to live a better life, you didn't ask them to tell you anything. And let's be honest, even if you did, how important is that? Why is that important? So if I didn't ask you, don't tell me. Now, if you're just compelled to tell me how I should live, then you should be compelled to deal with the response I'm going to give you, because I do love myself. And because I love myself, I seek what I need. You're not that. I didn't ask you for your advice. I didn't ask you for your help. But if you insist on giving it to me, one or two things are going to happen. Either A, I'm going to tell you why I don't need your help. Or B, I'm going to show you. See, because I'm looking at moving forward. I'm still going to love you, but I'm not going to allow your fear to become my fear. Now, here's something else that people you love, that shows you that they don't love themselves. They literally hate on you because you're happy. And let me dig a little deep into that, because, let's say it's your father. Your father, who you love dearly and is your hero. And he sits there and tells you everything that he doesn't like about you. He tells you, in his own way, going back to the people giving you advice. Well, you know what? That job you got is not a good job. I don't know why you work there. But this same father never held a job, or wasn't living life according to his way of saying it, or saying, that woman that you're dating, that man that you're dating, they're not good for you. You should have the type of person that does this, and this. And you're trying to listen to them, but you're looking, and you've been single for so many years, and every relationship, it's something that they did wrong. Okay? And before you know it, this same person is hating on you, because in all honesty, they hate themselves. When it comes to siblings, a sibling can be angry and upset because they believe you're getting a certain type of love that they never received. You're getting a certain type of attention that they never received. Instead of loving on you, because most times you look up to that sibling, instead of loving on you, you become the enemy to them. But in reality, they're the enemy to themselves. And what about friends? Or frenemies, as I call them? Because there are a lot of friends that pretend that they really rooting for you, that they really got your back. And what do you do with that? When you discover that this person doesn't have my back, that doesn't mean you don't have to love them. But the only thing I really want you to do is pay attention to you. Pay attention to exactly what it is that you need out of that relationship. Now, self-hatred manifests in people. And when it manifests, it's a lot of times in the relationships that they have with other people. So you're loving on this person who has a self-hatred, and it manifests by them trying to belittle, demean, and berate you. You don't have to take that. You don't have to sit and wallow in this message of foolishness. Instead, what you can do is take charge of your life. Make a decision that you are no longer going to allow yourself to be berated or be used. And it's okay to address them. It's okay to tell them, hey, look, I'm not you. So I don't have to live up to your standard or your judgment or your rules. That's not taking away the love you have for them. But it's you acknowledging that they don't love themselves, and so they are incapable of showing you the love that you deserve. These same people, you'll notice that a lot of times they will treat complete strangers or other people that you know way better than you. They'll treat them to dinner, they'll buy them things, they'll do all of these things just to show, I really like this person. All the while, you rooting for them and trying to have them in your corner, they treat you like trash. Don't get angry. There's nothing to be angry about, because if you go back to what I've said previously and over again, nobody owes you anything. And number two, who do you seek validation from? It's you. You are your own validation. So if they're treating someone else better than you, it doesn't matter. You have to create the boundaries and borders to say, you know what? I know what kind of people I want in my life, and this isn't it. But Rory, what if it's your parent? And parents are human beings. Treat them accordingly. You can love from a distance. Oh, I love that statement, loving from a distance. See, because if someone doesn't love themselves, why would I believe that they have the capacity or the ability to love me? If they don't like themselves, why would I have the belief system that they have the capacity or the ability to like me? And why would I be upset when I realize that they don't? If this person doesn't validate who I am. I think sometimes we get so caught up in us that we never look at the really big picture. We find ourselves questioning and engaging what other people think. See, because someone who doesn't love themselves can actually make it where you don't love yourself. And then you become just like them. So one of the things that you can do is first acknowledge, does this person have a problem with me? Or does this person have a problem with themselves? And for me, it doesn't matter either way, because they don't validate me and I love me. Do I have to tell them what they're doing? You don't. It's a choice. If you want to have that conversation, that's fine. But if you're talking to somebody who doesn't even understand how to love themselves, you're actually wasting your time. And you might get angry or even hurt behind that. So what do? First, the choice is yours. What I've chosen to do is not allow myself to be around people who don't love themselves. Because I'm human, and I may find myself looking for that love that doesn't exist for me. So I have to accept them for who they are, forgive them, and let go of how they treated me. Let go of what they think of me. Just let go. And when you let go, it's not from a place of malice, hate, anger. It's from a place of love. Because ultimately, I want them to see how much I love me. And if I love me and you see me loving on me, maybe it'll teach you how to love on you. And it'll teach you to stop looking for validation through me. See, because the other thing that I missed, that I didn't discuss, is that these same people that you love, that don't love themselves, the reason they attack your character, the reason they attack your person, is because they're still looking for validation from you. And if they can't get that validation, then they have to break down your character so they feel better about who they are. Now, is this the case in every instance? Of course not. As I said in my disclaimer, everything is different. There are so many variables that could take place. But the underlying goal here is for you to love you unconditionally. Because if you're loving on someone who doesn't love themselves, you're going to have to love yourself to override what it is they're doing. Life isn't perfect. It's not supposed to be. What life is perfectly imperfect. I want you to truly look at love. It's okay loving a monster, but it's not okay to allow that monster to keep biting you, keep punching you, keep kicking you. And that may be in the form of berating, belittling, patronizing. But also make sure you're checking with yourself and you're saying, does this bother me because I don't love me? Because the truth is, if you love you and you understand who you are, little stuff like that shouldn't really bother you. It doesn't bother me that these people do these things. Let me be transparent. I don't respond to these people doing these things. Yes, it does bother me, but not to the extent where I'm holding on, if that makes sense. I acknowledge it. This is a behavior. And then I let it go. And I make a decision. I've decided to love me more than anything and anybody else. So in order to do that, I have to remove those things that are harmful to me. Because if you love yourself, you're not hurting yourself. Not with drugs, not with alcohol, not with sex. And you're allowing yourself to grow and to move forward and to live in your light and your peace and your joy. This is your life. This is your journey. Loving those people who don't love themselves is not worth ruining how you feel about you. Let them be unloved all in the corner by themselves. You keep moving. You keep going and you keep growing. So I'm not going to keep you guys because, like I said, this is the first out-of-town episode of Soulful Sessions with Rory. I just want you guys to remember, love yourselves unconditionally. And in doing so, create the boundaries, barriers, barricades, whatever it is you need to keep those people that you love, but who don't love themselves, out of your life. Or at least affecting your life. They don't have to be gone, but just make sure they don't affect it. So if you got to distance yourself, do that. If you have to have conversations, do that. You do what you think works best for you. And just pray that it all works out. But don't forget to let it go and move forward. Thank you, beautiful souls, for joining me today on another enlightening episode of Soulful Sessions with Rory. If the episode resonated with you, share it with someone who will benefit. As we navigate the depths of introspection, explore the boundless possibilities of the human spirit, remember that your journey is uniquely yours, and every twist and turn is a sacred part of your story. Embrace the whispers of your soul, and may the echoes of our conversations linger in your heart, sparking a flame of self-discovery. Until we meet again in the realm of shared wisdom, stay true to your essence, stay connected to the rhythm of your soul, and always remember that you are a masterpiece in the making. Wishing you love, light, and infinite possibilities on your soulful journey. Until next time, this is Rory signing off with gratitude and reverence for the magic that resides in each and every one of you.